Tonight on Murrow News 8, we have an update on the Fiji House and action being taken in response to their actions.
We take a look at a car crash on College Hill that has police asking for help.
In Murrow News 8, asking hard questions. Will Evolve on Main live up to the hype? Murrow News 8 starts now.
From Studio B on the campus of Washington State University, this is Pullman's only nightly newscast. This is Murrow News 8.
Welcome inside Studio B. I'm Mackenzie Foster.
And I'm Jennifer Forsman. Thanks for joining us on Pullman's only local newscast. We start tonight with our top story, continuing coverage on the backlash facing the Fiji House.
Tonight, the Interfraternity and Panhellenic Councils met at the Chinook to have a full discussion on cultural appropriation, dismantling stereotypes, and moving the WSU Greek community forward.
We want to take you live to Sloan Childress, now outside the Chinook, with more on that meeting. Sloan?
Following the video release of the serenade on Monday, Phi Gamma Delta fraternity received a lot of backlash from the community because of the culturally offensive behavior exhibited in the video. Since the release, members of the Pi Mu chapter of Phi Gamma Delta released a statement apologizing to the people they offended by their choice of dress. In the statement, they said they will ensure their members participate in relevant trainings as an effort to understanding the Asian American Pacific Islander community at WSU, as well as all other cultures on campus. Members of the Interfraternity Council and Panhellenic Council met today in Chinook 150 to discuss cultural appropriation within the Greek community, as well as stereotypes. This forum acts as a dialogue, or as a starting point to create a dialogue going forward. At the Chinook, I'm Sloan Childress, Murrow News 8.
Continuing team coverage now, Kinsey joins us in the Murrow Action Center with Harald Hilseth, the student who brought the video to public light. Mackenzie?
Thanks, Jennifer. After tweeting a thread of videos and tweets surrounding the Fiji's actions, Harald Hilseth joins us live in studio. Harald, first of all, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
I just wanted to know, first of all, do you think that the Greek community responded appropriately to your call of action?
Yeah, no, I mean, speaking on that, kind of just generally not speaking directly for the AAPI community as a whole, I can't say I'm appreciative of the few of my friends and people I have never met from the residential Greek community here reaching out to me after those threaded tweets. And obviously it wasn't just me, there was a lot of people from our community that were pushing it out there. But I think everyone is just kind of waiting to see what comes of standards boards with Fiji and a trial next Tuesday to see how we see the residential Greek community appropriately dealing with this action in our eyes.
What kind of backlash did you receive personally?
Well, I think a lot of it, it came from people outside of our community here in Pullman. When we've been talking with individuals inside and outside of the Greek community about, why this is affecting the API community, specifically the PI community here at WSU, there have been a lot of people willing to listen and have a dialogue about it, which at the end of the day is kind of what we're aiming to do. But I can take a little bit of solace in understanding that the backlash on Twitter, the backlash in person, hasn't really come from students, more so individuals that really don't know what we're dealing with here. And I think that's going to be great for us moving forward, so we can decide as a community how we can remedy this issue.
And how do you feel being the one that implemented this whole thing?
It's bittersweet because you wish that you don't have to bring anything like this to light. But if anything, it is an opportunity in our eyes to talk to the community about why, as API individuals and just kind of as the wider multicultural community, we are offended but are willing to work with students and student leaders, especially in residential Greek life, to move forward and make sure the community gets it going at the end of the day.
Well, thanks for talking with us today, and we're going to bring it back to Jennifer back on the desk.
Thanks, Mackenzie. Police have questions about the reckless driving and alleged drug use that caused a vehicle to crash on College Hill. Murrow News 8 crime reporter Brady Frederick explains what happens.
September 5th, 3 a.m., a tan Honda Accord crashed onto a sidewalk at the intersection of Ruby Street and Colorado Street, nearly hitting passing pedestrians.
A car crashed up onto the curb that was just on, and their car was completely totaled. It was smoking. I was just lucky I wasn't still right there.
Because of its proximity to Adams Mall and surrounding residential housing, The Ruby and Colorado Street intersection is one of the busiest on College Hill. As the car took a hard right, it got stuck on this divider. From the point of impact on the corner of the barrier, oil slicks and dents in the pavement follow the car's path all the way to this spot. Meaning from the point the car left the road, it traveled 22 feet up the sidewalk before stopping. Witnesses assume the driver was under the influence.
I offered to call the cops, and the guy said they had too many drugs in their car and that they couldn't, and I could tell that the driver was pretty messed up at the time.
The September crime log features many additional drug-related incidents.
It's been consistent. We have a problem with kids using prescription medications, specifically Xanax. Cocaine has become more prevalent on Creek Row area, unfortunately.
Pullman Police and the Quad Cities Drug Task Force work to catch drug users and stop drug suppliers. When these incidents go unreported, it prevents them from protecting the community.
It does more damage to the community than not by not saying something about it, right? We need to find those individuals.
Although many witnessed the crash, the suspects escaped and may continue to harm the roads. Police urge the public to contact them anytime they witness criminal activity. Doing so can save lives. Brady Frederick, Murrow News 8.
Coming up after the break, we take a look at the new apartments Evolve on Main.
And we'll check in with Taylor in the Murrow News 8 Weather Center when we return.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Nearly a month after moving in, residents at a new apartment complex, Evolve on Main, still can't utilize some of the promised amenities. Guillermo Mota gives us an inside look at what they do have available.
Located in downtown Pullman, Evolve on Main could be the best living situation for those looking to live in luxury apartments. Except, the complex is not living up to the expectations so far.
First thing, we moved in very late. We moved in on the second week of classes.
Evolve residents continuously express the management's lack of communication and false hopes.
I mean, first of all, I think they should communicate a lot more. They've not been communicating. It's just kind of like the last minute, oh, we're sorry, we're going to get this ready soon.
The residents had to relocate as the complex did not meet the grand opening deadline.
The residents at the Evolve apartments were supposed to move in August 16th as signed by leases, but only the north side moved in on August 29th. And then on September 6th, the south side, which is by the district court on that end, they moved in until September 6th. And Pine Street behind me is yet to be opened.
In the midst of moving in, multiple patrons were given the wrong apartment numbers.
They put us in the wrong room, for one, and for two, the construction really bumped us back.
Several amenities opened weeks later from lease contract statements. Study rooms and rooftop lounge didn't open until September 17th. Painting wasn't completed until the 17th as well. And the parking? Well, parking isn't available yet. Residents have to park on the side of the streets for now. Our Murrow News 8 team tried speaking with Evolve management, but they refused to speak to the media. It should only be a few weeks for the final touches, and Evolve's rocky start will soon be forgotten. From downtown Pullman, I'm Antonio Mota, Murrow News 8.
Cindy Wilson, the Democratic candidate for Idaho's superintendent position, says the state continues to fail the kids in its schools. As a member of the Board of Corrections, Wilson brings up that 70% of inmates neither have a GED certificate or high school education, causing concern. She will face Republican incumbent Sherry Ybarra in the general election on November 6th. Wilson claims that Ybarra won't ever truly fix the issue. After the break, we'll see what Taylor has to say about the first week of fall.
You know, Mackenzie, is it bad that I'm already wanting it to be fall?
Honestly, I'm pretty excited for the crisper weather.
I'm one unlucky guy. The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning, 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash, 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times. Now, I may be an unlucky guy, but I don't have to be part of that statistic, and neither do you. Drive responsibly.
All right, Taylor, so is it fall yet, or do I still have a little bit more of summer, or do I really have to get my flannel and Uggs out?
Yeah, I could definitely use a few more days of sun.
Well, I've got some news for the both of you. We're starting to kind of run out of those days right now in the fall. We're consistently seeing temperatures drop, as well as temperatures sticking around 60 degrees. As you can see for today, today's temperature is 60 degrees, the average 62, high 64. Winds are about 11 miles an hour, your typical Pullman wind, 9 to 10 miles an hour. Looking at today's state map, Spokane 69 degrees, Pullman 64. Going over to the west side of the state, Seattle 62 with some rain, Olympia 66. And down in Vancouver actually had some pretty nice weather with 72 degrees. Yakima and central Washington 71, and Wenatchee 73. To keep looking at our forecast for tomorrow, tomorrow's weather is going to be about 52 degrees in the morning, partly cloudy, sticking to that kind of colder weather. 63 in the afternoon and 60 in the evening, pretty much the same. We're seeing the sun go down at about 7 p.m. And as that, we're seeing 60 degrees as our normal temperature. Looking at our Murrow News 8 forecast, we actually are going to have a nice day of 75 degrees on Friday, but flip that switch to Saturday, we're going to have 65 and rain. 62 and 66 on Sunday and Monday with sun, and like I said, sticking to that 10 to 9 degree winds.
My favorite part about fall probably has to be those caramel apple lollipops.
Oh, I love them.
After the break, we'll be back. You know, I am not ready for fall. I'm really not.
Me either. I'm not ready to have to wear a sweatshirt every single day.
It's going to get colder and colder walking to class.
Pumpkin spice lattes, right? That'll keep us warm, our Uggs, blankets.
Keep us nice and toasty.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for watching us. We hope you enjoyed your time with us. Come back every weeknight at 7 and 10 p.m.
And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Take care, Pullman.
Good night, Pullman.